Hi, boys and girls. I want to talk to you today about the math workshop. And so, when you come into math, there are lots of things that are going on. One day, you may be working with the teacher, with the whole class, and another day, you may be in a small group working with a teacher, or you maybe have to work independently or with working with other students. And you could be at a station, but every time in math, you're always learning. So, we want to talk about what that might look like, and then also how that might look if you're working from home. So, if you're in the classroom, you always want to remember that you want to be respectful to your classmates and take turns and follow your teacher's directions. And also, you always want to treat the materials, the things that you're working with, any of the manipulatives, all of those math tools, you want to treat them with care because they are math tools, not toys. So we also want to make sure we're not interrupting the teacher, and so that we're all working and learning together. And sometimes, if you're working in a small group, you have to talk in a low voice. A low voice. So you have to think about your voice levels because other people and other kids have to concentrate, and always want to use kind words to each other. And you want to also use math talk. And we'll learn lots more about math talk this year. And also, it's going to feel like, you know what? I can do this. I know that I can do this. I can be successful in math, and math can be fun. And so, when we're doing all those things, that's what the math workshop will be. Now, what is it going to look like digitally? Now, when you're working digitally, you might be at home, you might be working with your parents, or it could be a sibling, or you might have to work by yourself. And also, there could be times that you're working in a Zoom call with your teacher. So, all of those things that you have to remember, that you want to follow directions and you don't want to give up. So, you can do this. And you know what? Some of those math tools might be digital tools that you have to use. So, we have to treat our computer well, and we also have to use those digital tools properly. So let's talk about the word struggle. And struggle doesn't sound like a nice word, but actually, struggle in math is a good thing. And the struggle is real. So, sometimes you struggle when you just feel like you're stuck on something. And you know what? That's when real learning happens. That's when your brain is growing. And it's also time that your teacher is going to give you that work, and it is going to help you. And you know what? Sometimes it's really hard because you feel like you're struggling. You're like, why won't the teacher help me yet? Well, you know what? The teacher wants you to struggle a little bit so that your brain can grow. So, what do we do when we have a struggle? Well, you know what? You've got to stay calm. You got to think, remember, I can do this. Have to be really positive. So you might have to think about, oh, well, what do I do next? Maybe that's going to help me out to do that. And you know what? I have to do one part at a time and not be overwhelmed, especially thinking digitally. Just do one part at a time and then think about it in small parts. And you can do this, boys and girls. You can make it through. and use those resources. Just as you see us on here, we're using blocks and things to count with. This week we're like counting lots of things and solving problems. So we don't want you to give up. But you know what? You might need things to count too. So use those resources and talk with classmates. That helps us when we're really at school. But when we're learning digitally, you might have to talk to someone else. And that might be a parent, it could be a brother or sister, and you also could reach out to the teacher. Now, what do you not do when you really are struggling? You do not want to cry or pout or run away. And you know what? At school, sometimes kids, and I know you wouldn't do this, boys and girls, but they try to run to the restroom just so you can get a break. Or you just sit there and do nothing. You don't want to do that. You want to try something. So never giving up. Persevere. Do not give up. So digitally, you don't want to get so frustrated that you just decide, you know what, I'm not going to learn today. Take one part at a time. And if you need help, the teachers are here for you. We care about you, and we are going to make it through together. But remember, it's a little bit hard, so that you do have a struggle, so that your brain can grow so big, because you're going to learn so much as first graders.